There we go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Saturday morning, the new distributor training for Zija International. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija. I've had the privilege of being with this company for a number of years and extremely excited for our new distributor training today. I have the privilege of having Gerry Campisi joining me on this call. Now, some of you may not recognize Gerry's name. I have known of Gerry for many, many, many years. He's like, you know, an icon in direct marketing, financial services, and was just absolutely, amazed, excited, energized last year, about the middle of last year, when I heard that Gerry Campisi had joined Zija International. That's like having the number one player in any sport coming to your town and joining your little team. Absolutely phenomenal. What I want to do here in setting this up before bringing Gerry on, a couple of quick things. Welcome to all of you, in particular those of you that are brand new distributors, and maybe this is your first time, or you've just gotten started with us, or maybe you've been around for a while and just heard about the ability to have a Saturday morning training for new distributors webinar. Welcome to each one of you. Now, I want you to be real clear that today is an aspect of new distributor training. I'm going to encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. I've created a playlist there. There's a handful of 4 little videos. One talks about what we do, in our profession of network marketing, how we do, the system we use to create success. There'll be 3 little 10-minute videos that'll follow that on the specific aspects, details of what you need to do to get off to a fast start and create a 90-day game plan to get into profitability and build momentum in your Zija business. And so go to my YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/FredHolmesZija. youtube.com/FredHolmesZija. When you get there, just click on playlists. There's only one playlist, and it is new distributor training. Now, each Saturday morning, what we want to do is we want to be able to provide you with more details, more focus on the foundational elements of what's necessary to create success in your own home-based business. And today is got to be a red letter day for me personally, to have somebody that I've admired from afar for so many years. I'm going to invite Gerry Campisi to join me on this side of the presentation. And as I'm bringing him on here, let's find him first. Where are you, Gerry? Oh, there we go. Gerry Campisi, for those of you that don't recognize the name, I encourage you, go to social media, check him out. Gerry does a tremendous amount of training for the profession, in particular for Zija. Good morning, Gerry. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. How are you, Fred?
Excellent, sir. I was just about to share a little bit, again, for those of you, let me just kind of in the way of an introduction. Gerry has been somebody that I have personally admired for many years from afar. I remember meeting you in Las Vegas and standing next to you and said, Gerry, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. It was so exciting. Folks, Gerry's got, close to 30 years of experience in consulting to businesses and financial services. That's his background. Specializes in taking companies from like 10 million a year to 100 million a year and above. And for now over 20 years has been involved in direct marketing. And folks, unlike so many people that are the proclaimed multi-level gurus that really never did anything, but they learned how to teach people how to do what they couldn't do, Gerry's the fellow that's created, I don't know, I think we're up to like 20 or 30 million dollar earners in this industry. Gerry has been the person that sponsored them or taught them, mentored them. To have somebody of this caliber and stature in our profession to share information with you folks, I just want you to recognize Gerry, thank him for being here, and then recognize me because he came on my broadcast. I can't believe he would do it. But Gerry, it was great to spend some time with you here this past weekend at the Diamond Club retreat. And we both were able to get away from the group. Probably 40, 45 minutes I spent with you, and I can't, again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the time that you spent with me. That was gold. To be able to spend that kind of individual one-on-one time with somebody of your stature and experience in the industry was truly a blessing to me. And what I was hoping to do today, Gerry, as we talked earlier, you really have a crystal clear picture of not only our industry as a whole, but Zija International and what is happening with this company today as we're entering into this pre-launch of Zija 2.0. And I'd like you to maybe to share that, especially for the new people that maybe don't really realize what we have here. And then I'd really like you, if you could, share with the folks what you shared with me. You grabbed, and I just lost my notepad that I had it on. You grabbed my notepad, you started writing, and you made a really significant statement. If you can teach a brand new person how to make $500 their first month in Zija, and you can do it in a couple of minutes, then you've got a simple, duplicatable system, and that is the key to success in our business. So, Gerry, let me shut up a little bit, because as you can tell, I hate to feel like I'm like some little girl seeing a rock star or something like that, but I am a little boy seeing a rock star. Thanks for joining us, Gerry. I'm going to just let you share what's ever on your heart, my friend.
Thanks, Fred. You know, for all of you that don't know Fred like I do, he doesn't think I knew him, but he has a great reputation. He's been in the industry a long time. You can learn everything from him. And I'm really happy that you're all part of his team and working. We are all one family. I don't think I'm anything special. I'm an average person, came from an average family. Yeah, I've made millions. I actually made over 36 million, but that's not my greatest achievement. It's those 40 millionaires you mentioned, Fred, that I trained, and it's what they did that excites me, and it's why I'm in Zija. They all gave back to help others. We all have done tremendous charity work all over the world, and I mean a woman, Kay, who was just unbelievable. She was married to a medical doctor, had a terrible divorce, and she went out and showed him what she's really made out of. And she built 3 homes for battered women, and pink house on the ocean. She paid cash. She always wanted this, but he degraded her his whole life. And she said, "You don't know, Gerry, sometimes mental abuse is worse than physical." So, and I have so many people that have changed lives of other people. That's what drives me. I hope to work with maybe 100 in Zija to do that. And even if your goals are little, if we can get you to make a little more than what you're normally making, I hope that you will understand how lucky you really are. Maybe you do not know that 2.2 billion people in the world earn less than $2 a day. And 18% of the world population earns less than $1 a day. And 26,000 children tonight and every night will die in their mother's arms of starvation. You'll never know that feeling, but I've been there in person, and it doesn't just pull your heartstrings like you see on TV. When you see it in person, it rocks your soul forever. You can't forget it. And I have made a commitment to go back. Physical things don't mean anything to me. What means to me is people. I love people. I care about people. I know that we all can love, we can all hate, we can all cry, we can all laugh. Every human has those abilities. It's how you use those qualities that make you a person. So I hope that you're going to spend the love and the sharing and the caring with Zija. But let's get into the money and what's going on and what you need to do. I got involved simply to Zija because they have all the ingredients for success. You see, in my financing business, I had to know that the company was going to grow because I did all the legal, all the accounting, and the financing free. And people say, well, how did you learn all that stuff? Listen, I worked my way through college washing cars by hand. You can learn anything. I can't tear a car apart and put it back together, but I have friends that can do it. It drives me crazy. But everyone has the expertise. And that's why all of us together, where you're weak, we will take it and work it. We will leverage your time. If you don't have time, you can do this business because you can become a connector. Just connect up the people to us. We do the training and support. We put them in your group. You get the overrides for life. So I don't have time. It's just an excuse in Zija. And you have to know what is the excuses. So I got involved because they have these things. Number one, they have an owner that knows what he's doing, and he is very substantial. He has put his money where his mouth is. I love that about them when you show where it is. He's built the manufacturing plant. He's built the warehouses. We operate that ourselves. You know how much money that we could do? Over $1 billion of infrastructure. We could do $2 billion in sales. We're only at 130, 150 million. So why would somebody build facilities to do $2 billion if they didn't plan to accommodate it? It would be absurd. It's not. He didn't do that. He's going to accommodate it, and we're all part of that explosive growth. So we have an owner, number one, that's been there. He's run 2 other companies, network companies, and knows what he's doing. This is going to be his legacy company. I had a nice talk with him at that meeting. We spoke for over an hour, and he just told me, Gerry, we are going to be huge, and I don't think people see it yet. I said, good. That's what I like. I like to move in position when no one gets it. When they do get it, you go up. It's just like anything else. So we're going to do that. The second thing we have is we have a management team that is honest, and so is our owner. I don't care how great the company is. I don't care how great the products are. If the principles behind it are not honest, you're not going long term. There's no doubt about that. The next thing you do is, so we're capitalized. We have an owner that has experience. Capitalization is very important. Most companies fail in the business. The third thing, we have products that people really love and they work. 90% of the companies in networking do not have science behind their products. They have Google science. Google science. Anyone can make that up. They're not real. So, and they have great marketing, but people are starting to learn that this hype and the rah-rah stuff doesn't help your health. So we have really products. There's no excuse. We have products in every different line: sports fitness, high blood pressure, memory, sleep, pain. We have things for gut health, digestive issues, weight loss that really works. You can keep it off, not temporary weight loss. We have all kinds of other issues. Sleep, you can't sleep. We have products for that. So the idea here is that we have the products that are priced right, that the market wants. I don't know if you know this, but I was talking to our owner, and he said, Gerry, you study demographics, don't you? I said, yes, I study demographics. And he wanted me to repeat at the meeting what I told him. There's never been a time in the history of the world, of the history of this earth, there has never been a time where every demographic is saying the same thing at the same time in every country. And you know what that is? I don't want to do pharmaceutical drugs unless I have to. I don't want to do that. I know drugs save lives, and if I have to, I will. But I want to try all natural alternatives that really work. And that's really important. The millennials, they don't want to hear it. They're saying to their parents, who might be baby boomers or back at the upper end of the X generation, say, Mom, Dad, I love Grandpa and Grandma. But you know what? I'm not going to take 5 and 10 drugs a day. That's totally out of the question. And they're going to search the net for quality products that are priced right. And at the top of that list is Zija. So we have that. We have the variety of products. We have products, deodorants with no aluminum. We have products that are all natural, the way the world is going. So as you know, we call it the natural product revolution. So we have everything going on that. Here's the most important point. No matter how great everything is, your financial success to the rest of your life, right now to the rest of your life, and this is what people don't understand, depends on the financial success of the company. Where are they in timing? Timing is everything. And here is the key that you want to know. There are trends that are going on that people don't know about, but they are in the momentum stage. Momentum means that it happens, there's 4 stages. The first stage happens from 5 million to 100 million. 99.9% of the companies never get to 100 million. We're already there. We're through the first stage. We're in the beginning of the second stage, where it goes from 100 million to 300 million. This is where you get the biggest exchange for your time as far as return once you stay in the program and keep it working. Because the explosive checks happen between 300 million in the third phase to 600 million, and in the fourth phase from 600 million to $1 billion. Fred knows all about this. He knows this. He knows very few companies ever get to momentum, like 15 in the history of the industry. They wind up and they unravel. And I can tell you many companies that got close to $1 billion but unraveled because they didn't have all the ingredients for success, mostly capitalization. So I'm very happy we have the timing. So you're at the beginning. So I was in another company, a skincare company, New Skin, that did $3 billion last year. I was part of the first $1 billion too. So people ask me at this diamond retreat, how many people, Gerry, stayed in the 6.5 years before it hit momentum? We had thousands of distributors, we had thousands of customers, but we only had 41 people that stayed in because they couldn't stay in during that tough time of winding up, unraveling. Those who have been in it know exactly what I'm talking about. Now we're going through a stage that people dream of, and believe me when I tell you this, 80% of all new volume in networking comes from new blood. 80%. That means out of the first billion, it will be much bigger in my estimation. In New Skin, they did 3 billion. They have 3 million distributors. Herbalife, 4 billion, 4 million distributors. You have about 1 million distributors per billion because not one person does a lot. A lot of people do a little. You have 500 millionaires per billion. So what happened when this company went from where we are now, which took 6.5 years? Oh, by the way, we're financially where they were. You don't have to wait 6.5 seconds. We're there. You don't have to wait at all, but you do have urgency. This will never happen again. This phase will never ever happen again. The momentum doesn't happen 2 or 3 times. As the company goes from 100 million to 1 billion, that's 10 times. 100 million to 2 billion is 20 times. Can checks 10 and 20 times? All 40 of my millionaires did. Most of them did, at least 10. So, and I saw checks at $800 go to $8,000 a month. They didn't do anything different than before momentum. They just had the action. The action starts coming in. And at 300 million, there's product recognition. That's another big thing. That's 50% of the sale. When you start talking to a person that says, oh, my neighbor's using that. He swears by that product. Now you have 50% of the sale done. So we're not there yet, but we're getting in that second phase, at the beginning of the second phase. I would dream, if I was new, I would dream of being in this phase. Because before this is difficult. You wind up, you unravel. Not everyone sees it. The company's adjusting for things. But now we're coming up with this Zija 2.0 to make everything simple. And wait till I tell you the new financial formula that is so easy. An 8-year-old can do this business. So I'm going to show you what's coming up. But you have timing. Never forget it. You have timing. The company doesn't go 10 and 20 times. I'd love New Skin to go 10 and 20 times in the next 5 years. But that's 10 times 33 billion. They're not going to 30 billion or 60 billion. Herbalife's not going. They'll go to 4 billion. New Skin will go to 4 billion, but not that. So it's not the same financial opportunity. It is not. And so that's what we have over all the companies that are out there. I can't think of one company in the industry, and Fred, you know them all. I can't think of one company that has owners that have been there already, has already been successful with 2 companies, that has the capital, that puts the, we had to build the infrastructure that we have now. After this, we built it at 200 million in New Skin. So we already have it all built already. This is a big deal. So I don't know anybody who has the infrastructure taken care of at this financial state. I don't know how anyone's in the second phase of momentum. I don't know anyone that has management team that really cares about you. I have never been with this team that doesn't talk about you. And you know, Fred knew he watches things like this. When these guys that are running the company, you know, Ryan and Gerry and all at Dr. Plant, you know where they stand? They don't get on stage and then disappear like everyone else. They're standing by the door. You have to, they want to shake your hand and hug you by the time you're going out. That's really important. That shows that they're not ego crazy maniacs running the company. They really love the distributors and they want to be part because they know that their check depends on you. And so you have that. So let's get into the timing you've got. And I'm so happy that all of you are part of here, but you can't sit down. You can't sit down and slow down. You need to put the afterburner on and really go for it now. Yesterday doesn't count anymore because 80% of all new volume is going to be new blood. That means that in the first billion, 800 million is going to be created by people that aren't in the program yet. How many did we have in the first billion two in New Skin? We had 731 millionaires in the first billion two, but only 41 were involved where we are now financially. And as Fred and I went to the meeting, we got maybe 50. We don't have, our numbers are very similar. So how much of the 800 million do you want? You can have all of it. You can have any of it. You can have a little bit. You can have a lot. It's totally up to you. How many of the millions of customers per billion do you want? It's all up for grabs. Whether you want to make $500 a month, 1,000, which I'm going to show you right now, or more, we're going to be able to do that. So I'm really happy that we're in where we are and we have all these things going for us. It's very unusual. It's very rare. And that's why I'm here. I love this financial stage. I love that you can build internationally. I love that we're going everything with 2 clicks and the customer goes direct. I love that you can build everything on your cell phone through new apps that are coming out. I love that they're going to have systems that tell you what to do and make it really simple for you. I love that because that's where we're going. And so if you want to build through your cell phone and make money 24/7, because you can build if you're in the States, you can build in Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, and they're just waking up as you're going to sleep. So you can make money 24/7. I've been there. I helped open 34 countries, and I know what it's like. All of you that are in the Latino market, I wish I could speak Spanish. It's the fastest growing segment of our population. And I know those of you that speak Spanish, they want it in Spanish. They understand English, but they want it in Spanish. I can't do that. Fred can't do that, but you can do it if you speak the language. It's a huge market. I built all the ethnic groups in the United States and opened up the countries. I didn't go to the countries first because I saw everyone else doing that and blowing a lot of money. So I said, no, I can build in the Filipino market in the United States and Canada. I can build in the Mexican market in the United States and Canada. We have people in Mexico on this call. I can pre-sell Colombian Americans. We're going into Colombia next. I can pre-sell the distributors that are in the Philippines. I could just sell them here. But yeah, we're in Asia. I'm going to Asia next week. I'm going to be in Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, all 3 countries. We have warehouses and offices, but we're just starting. We're just starting around the world. And so the idea here is you can own these countries by getting ethnic groups here. I'll teach you what to say and everything, and other trainings. Here are the 3 volumes that duplicate. Let's get into the money and show you how to make the money. Our financial formula is this. People say, Gerry, what do you want me to do? And this has been a missing piece. I want you to get 10 to 15 customers and duplicate. What? That's it. That's the whole marketing plan. 10 to 15 customers and duplicate. Why? 10 to 15 customers equals 1,000 points. In most cases, it'll be 1,000 points. So if you're on, Super Mix and XM3, that's 150 points. That's 7 customers to do 1,000. I want you to do 1,000 points a month. And if you've noticed on a lot of the sites, a lot of the leaders have already picked up on it and they have 1,000-point club. So we're working with the company to have 1,000-point clubs too. Hopefully they can do that so they can really give the recognition to that person that achieves it. I don't want it one time. I want you to do it every month. It can be the same 10 to 15 customers. You don't need new customers. You can do the same 10 to 15 customers. So here's what I wanted to share with you. There are 3 volumes that duplicate every month. Fred, can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, it looks good, Gerry.
Okay. There's 3 volumes that duplicate. Over here is called introductory volume. This is when they sign in and buy a kit, a prearranged kit. And we have different kits that are 100, 200, 500, and 1,000 points. Is there an advantage to get on that? That is called introductory volume. Yeah, because if you sign in at a 500 kit, you can make another 5% of your binary, which means we call team commissions. You can make 15% for 12 weeks if you use the 500 point. If you sign in at the 1,000, you can make another 5%, adding to the 10% of your lesser leg, making it 15% of your lesser leg for 24 weeks. So yeah, there is an advantage, but it's not mandatory at all. We certainly want to work within your budget. Many people, this type of technique is called top-down, getting distributors in first, and then have them go build customers. Much of Zija works the opposite. They get the customer in first, let them use the product, and then convert. That's why the formula I put together was 10 to 15 customers, 10 to 15 customers, and duplicate. So you're going to get customers, and then from the customer base, you build distributors. So that's called bottom-up marketing. Top-down is starting with getting leaders that are going to open up. I want you, the second volume is called auto ship. This is personal and family use. There's a 75 point and 850 point in North America. In the rest of the world, it is 40 points and 75 points. Let me tell you what you get for that. When you sign up and you get some product, you go on an auto ship. The auto ship determines, it's not charged right away. It's charged 30 days, and you can change it and cancel it at any time, and there's a money-back guarantee. But the auto ship determines what percent you're going to start at. So if you're at the 75 auto ship in the United States or 40 anywhere else, then you start making 15% of any introductory volume kits. So let's just go, for example, If you sign me in at 1,000 points, you could make 15% or $150 the next week. We pay weekly. Fast cash. This is called fast cash. So if you're at the 150 point, you start making 25% of any introductory volume. So you can make 15% or 25%, depending on the auto ship, meaning that if you sign me in at 1,000 points, you would make $250 back. So it depends. That auto ship depends. We should all get on auto ship. Now, we're going to eliminate down the road, not right now, but down the road, you're going to see an option to eliminate auto ship. You have so many customers, retail customers, you can have auto ship free for the 75 and so many customers. We're working on that. And that's where we're going because that's what the way the industry is going. So right now, that's the auto ship. The third volume is what I'm talking about, is that customer volume. And that is 10 to 15 customers equal 1,000. I don't care if you add introductory. I prefer you add customers. I want you to do 1,000 points a month. So in some countries, I was talking to them in South Africa, they like to use the introductory kit because they want to have as much product as possible because they sell it all right away. She said to me, can I have 1,000 points? If I sign one person in at 1,000 or two people at 500, will that be my 1,000 that I can count? Yes, this is not part of the compensation plan. This is something we teach. So yeah, it can be introductory, but you have to keep doing that. With customers, you can have the same customers rolling over. It is much better to have 10 to 15 customers and duplicate. Every one of you can do that. Every single one of you can do that. 10 to 15 customers, same customers. Could be the same customers rolling over. So the object is to get that. Now, so once you understand, we're going to teach you to do 1,000 points and become a member of the 1,000 Point Club. If you've been watching Chris Este's site, you'll see all the people that are breaking title at 1,000 points. That's a big deal. This is the second part of the 1,000 point. So I have two parts to it. Here's how you do the plan. This is all you have to remember. If you're new, please don't get complicated. This is, you get 1,000 points a month. So 10 to 15 customers and duplicate. That's the first. And the second one is called you and two. You get two people, one on the left and one on the right. You're building two teams, a left team and a right team. And you teach each one of those to do what? What you're doing, 1,000 points. So they have 10 to 15 customers. All right, so that's you at 1,000 and you got one on the left and one on the right. That's right, that's all you do. Can it be the same two all year that just do 1,000? Absolutely. If one drops out, replace them. If two drops out, replace them. You just have two people, one on the left and one on the right. So what does that look like? That looks like this. That's what it looks like. There's this, you're in the green, and then you get two people on the left. So it goes 1, 2, 4, 8. 1, 2, 4, 8. Does everyone get that? Each side will have one. You only get two, but you can have 20 people in your group from that. So if you do that, so you're going to have both sides duplicating. Now, so you can figure out your check. You make 10% of the lesser leg. In theory, that's how you figure it out, but that's not how the computer pays. The computer pays 5% both sides down to the lesser leg. Anything that's left over is banked. All of you that are new, you don't even have to understand that. All you have to understand is 10 to 15 customers and get you and two. That's it. That's the whole plan. Now, how do you make 500? By the way, for those of you that are a little more advanced, just so you know, I teach, when I'm getting into the compensation, I teach it. This is sophisticated. This is not for any of you that are new. Those of you that know the plan, I want to show you how it actually pays. This is how it actually pays. Make believe this is an auditorium full of people, but you're on the stage looking out, so you can visualize the plan. There's a vertical row missing, so you can actually physically see a left side and a right side. No more levels, no more rows. The people you personally get involved sit on the first row, but then they share it with people in the second. So if there's 150,000 points on the left, is that right? No, 100,000 on this side and 150,000 on the other side. What does it do? So total points. Now it's paid on total volume. The room can be as far back as you can see. No more on levels. Now it's on volume. So if you have 100,000 on one side and 150 on the other, they take the lesser leg and they give you 5%. That's 5,000 that week. Our weeks go Friday night to Friday night, midnight, East Coast time, and they pay you the following Friday, no more than noon East Coast time. So So that's 5,000. They wipe out that side, but the side comes right back because the products are all residual. They then take the same volume on the other side that has 150,000 points, and they pay 100,000 points. They pay 5% of the 100,000 on the other side. So they have another 5,000. So that means 5,000 on the left and 5,000 on the right. What does that equal to? Gerry, why don't you just say 10% of the lesser leg? Because 10% of 100,000, isn't that the same thing? Yeah, it is. Why don't you say just 10% of the lesser leg, all titles are based on, and to figure out your check? Because if I say that, the new person says, oh, you don't pay on the other side, you only pay on one side. And that's not. That's what I'm trying to show you, how, for those of you that are a little more advanced. So this goes all the way down. So wait a minute, there was 150,000 on the left, but they only paid 100. What happened to the 50,000 they didn't pay? It rolls over to the next week. We call it banking. It banks to the next week. As long as you stay on auto ship. The minute you go off auto ship, you lose the bank. So you don't want to do that. So that means that you can always catch up to it in another time. You never lose the bank if you do. You can make up to 40,000 a month over here. The average person is going to do fast cash, which is not what I just explained, and you got team commissions. This is called team commissions or binary. So the average person, 80% just do these two, fast cash and this, to make the money. For those of you that want to make more, at another time, I'll do super advanced training for the people that want to make 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a month. I know that sounds insane to you, but remember, we have people in this industry that think 50,000 a year is nothing. They want to go 50, 100,000 and more a month. I only had 16 people in the other company. I had 16, and I had all of the 40 millionaires had less than 20, all of them. But in my 16, I was doing $8 million a month in volume. You could figure out the 5% I made. That was in my pay structure. So you could figure out what I made a month, just multiply 8 million by 5%. The idea is I didn't do anything different, except during momentum, I put the afterburner on. I really went for it. And now's the time to do that. So let's show you how to do the 5,000. So you're going to have a left team and a right team. All you're going to duplicate when you tell a new person, 10 to 15 customers and duplicate. What you're technically doing is you're duplicating 1,000 points. So if you have 4 people on the left and 4 people on the right, each doing 1,000, that's gold. So the idea of not going through the titles, but the titles are based on lesser leg. I am going to show you right now how you make 500 and 1,000. Fred had asked to do that. And when you see this, you'll say, how simple is this? So remember, your 2 things you're teaching is 1,000 point club, 10 to 15 customers. And it can be the same customers every month, duplicate. And number 2, you and 2. That's it. Now, here's how to make a 500. I'm not very good at drawing, but you have 5 people on the left and 5 people on the right. They're each doing 1,000. That's 5,000 on the left, 5,000 on the right. Do you remember what I just said? You're going to make 10% of the lesser leg. What does that equal? 500 a month. If you want to make 500 a month, you don't get 50 people. You don't get 100 people. You just get 5 people on the left, 5 people on the right doing that. Now, if you want to make 1,000 a month, it's real easy. If you want to get, you just go 10. 10 people on the left and 10 people on the right. You didn't get the 10. You only got two, 1 on each side, but they duplicate. And so if you have 10 people on the left and 10 people on the right, each doing 1,000, that's 10,000 points on the left and 10,000 points on the right, times 5%, you're going to make 1,000 a month. If you teach people to make 500 and 1,000 a month, they'll never quit the business because they don't have to do much to do that. But if you don't teach the 1,000 points, if you let the compensation plan do the business, you're in big trouble. Here's why. The average PV in the industry runs between 65 and 155 points. Let's say 100 points for Zija. If you teach the person to do 1,000 and just say to them simple things, listen, if you want to build a home business and you can't get 10 to 15 customers, our product's viral. 1 customer that lowers your blood pressure will get 5. If you get somebody on weight loss, they'll get others. It doesn't have to be personally. It can be referred, but you need to get 10 customers on the left and 10 on the right, and you're going to make 10,000 points. Now, let me tell you how many people you need if you don't, if they only do 100. That's all they need to get a check. 75 to 150, that's all they need. So let me tell you what happens. How many people now do you need on the left team and the right team? You need 10 on the left and 10 on the right. You need 20 total. You know what you need if you don't teach this? You need 10 times that. That means you need 100 people on the left and 100 people on the right, or 200 people to do what 20 people did. What's the problem with the 200 people? A lot of problem. They're all losing their shirt. It's called attrition. They're all going to drop out because you're not teaching them how to make money and duplicate. You're teaching them how to lose money and duplicate. This is just a financial piece I add. You don't have to do it, but this is what I do to get that volume really rocking. And the company is doing that. I noticed a lot of the leaders are starting to get into the 1,000-point club, and hopefully the company will be able to do that. So I want to share with you a couple of other things. So that's what you want to do. Let me tell you, those of you that can make 500 and 1,000, you have no idea. That doesn't sound like anything to the average person that's a go-getter, but for the average person, that's a lot. But they'll stay in the program is what my point is. Here are some other things that I want you to remember. There's 4 things that'll take you out of the game. 1, these are 4 things that you have to learn how to do, is not internalize rejection. Not internalize rejection. And in other words, when a person rejects you, they're not rejecting you as a person. They're just not interested in the products or the opportunity. You have to just say next, 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 because it's really important that you understand that. If a girl is selling coffee, and she says, you know this one, Fred, they say, would you like coffee, sir? No. Would you like coffee, ma'am? No, ma'am. Would you like coffee? No, 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 no. 20 no's. She doesn't go to the boss in the back room and says, you know what? I quit. No one wants coffee. Why not? She doesn't take it personally. They're just rejecting the coffee, not her. Remember this if you don't know them. There's 4 SWs on this point of rejection. SW, 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 SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. 4 SWs. SW, 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 SW. So that's the first thing, rejection. The second thing is something that you have to be really careful of, and this is deception. This is when you're every day, I want to tell you what makes people successful. Every day is a battle between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Every day of your life. The successful person will know how to control the subconscious. So here's what happens. Every day is a battle. The subconscious battles the conscious. Subconscious always wins. Why is it only 6% at age 66 after working your whole life are people self-sufficient so they can live the type of lifestyle they want? Why? They can't control the subconscious mind. Let me give you an example. You're supposed to do 2 hours a day, I'm just making this up, with Zija. And that was your commitment. And you're doing it. For the first week, you're good. And the second week, a friend comes to town, says, look, I haven't seen you in a long time. Let's go out. Subconscious says, no, can't, got to do 2 hours of Zija. Subconscious says, go ahead out. You can make it up tomorrow. And you know what? You go out. You never listened. You always listen to the subconscious. It's more powerful than the conscious. The conscious knows what's right. Subconscious talks you out of it every day of your life. So you have to be very careful because this is called the bubble syndrome. I make up these terms. You live in a bubble syndrome, and this bubble syndrome is your comfort zone. You can't be successful inside your comfort zone. You have to be outside your comfort zone, and you have to stay out for long periods of time. So this is really important to get. There's 4 mindset stages that you go through in this deception. The first is called the lying stage or self-doubt stage. It's the first 6 weeks, 1 week to 6 weeks. Lying, self-doubt. The subconscious says, what did you just get into? This is not going to work. And then a dream stealer, someone that you love or know about, is going to try to talk you out of it. I can only tell you this. Never listen to anyone unless they're paying your bills. When they're paying your bills, then you can start listening to them. But unless they're paying your bills, don't listen to all the dream stealers, all the people that tell you that'll never work. Don't listen to them. They'll try to attack you, and the subconscious mind will agree with them, and you'll be out of the business. So in the first 6 weeks, you go through the self-doubt. If that wasn't enough, then from 6 weeks to 8 months, you go through the second mindset stage called the quitting stage. Everything that can go wrong will. You're building a business. And life gets in the way at this stage. In other words, you're building a business good, you're there for 3 months, all of a sudden, something happens in the family, and you go back to where you were comfortable. You're outside the comfort zone, now you're back in. the life gets in the way of success. We all have to understand that life goes like this. Mm-hmm. And so does business. I wish it didn't. When you're young, you think life goes like this, but you learn very quickly that life doesn't. So the key to success in my eyes, I get asked that all over the world. What's the key? It's to having a good attitude at the low point. I think having a good attitude at the high point is easy. Try having it when your relationship's not working, when your marriage is not working, when your partner's not working. Try doing it when your business is falling apart. Try doing it with the creditors at the door, with you can't make the car payment, you can't make your house payment, your credit card bills are maxed. Try doing it then. That's easier said than done. And subconscious is right there to say, I told you this isn't going to work. Don't even listen to that. You have to do what the 9-year-old girl did, a 9-year-old boy did. I was with a family, and I had a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. The girl was the 11-year-old. The 9-year-old was getting scolded by the mother. She was screaming at him because he was doing bad stuff. So when the boy, I was right in the room, so he saw me. He know I saw him. So when his mother turned around, he went like this to me. Do you know what he was telling me? What was he telling me? I can't hear her. I can't hear her. And that's what you have to do. It has to bounce off you to hear all this deception and rejection. The third financial stage is basically is called the commitment stage. It's 8 months to 2 years. And some of you will go through these stages very fast, but because this is a part-time business, this is real. And it takes time. Make a commitment to build the business for 2 or 3 years. Don't make a commitment to build for 2 months. Who does that? Nobody in business. This is a real business. Doesn't have accounts receivable, doesn't have payroll, doesn't have inventory or bookkeeping, but we're the marketing arm. We have to market. And I teach over 60 ways of getting leads. There's no reason you can't do it. And now we're going on to social media, which everyone has 338 friends on Facebook. When Fred and I, 15, 20 years ago, if you talk to a person, you're lucky if you get 50 people that they would talk to. But now they have relations. Sometimes they talk every day to these people, twice a week to the people, more than they talk to their real friends. So this is a whole new arena that we're going. And the fourth stage is 2 years to 5 years. And this is called the endurance stage, EN, endurance. And that is another name for it is total unconditional commitment. Total unconditional commitment. If you ask me, which many people do, what's the real key once you're in the right vehicle? Capital U, capital R, capital D. I make up these words. Capital U, capital R, capital D is the real key. Undying, relentless discipline. Undying, relentless discipline. That's what it takes to be successful in anything. So if you don't have time, you be a connector. If you don't know people, you got to be kidding. We'll share with you how to get people. I had a guy that was 29 years old. He said, I don't know people. I said, look, I'm going to give you $1,000 today if you don't know people. You tell me you don't know 5 people that you could talk to? No, give me your cell phone. That was the end of that discussion. That was the end of that discussion. They have it, and they have relationships. So you have to just let people know. So those 4 things you have to learn to adjust. And you have to pay a price. Michael Jordan's book's excellent. You see he's shooting when he was a teenager. He was awkward as younger because he was so big. And he said, I had to keep shooting. My friends would try to, when I was 13, 14, they would say, come on, let's go out with the girls. Let's go drinking. And he said, no, I can't. I have to keep shooting because if I don't shoot enough, I won't have the averages in my favor. Are you shooting enough? Do you keep shooting? Because if you can't get the average in your favor. Baseball, 300 is a fantastic baseball average. That means you're up 1,000 times and strike out 700. People just don't swing enough, and that's what you have to do. I want you to take your team with you if you can. The last 2 things I wanted to share with you is this. When you sell through the internet or in any other way and you sell a product, you must learn, and many people online do not get the auto ship right away. If you want to do that, that's okay, but you better get that auto ship. And millennials, we're teaching this the other day. You have to get the auto ship and you have to learn how to upsell. All of you must upsell. I just saw Shelley McGuire put a thing out of the 2-minute miracle. Did you notice she was upselling the per cap oil and the eye cream? The eye cream is a serum. People pay fortunes for serum, so they mix it in their face. Why is she? And that's what happens. It's unbelievable. The product's unbelievable. It works. But she just upsold into a system. And now you got the PV jumping up. So that's really important. So upsell and do that. Lastly, I'm going to tell you, I believe in Fred immensely. I know him. I know what he believes in. He believes in you. And I believe in you too. I believe that every single person listening was born for greatness. Oh, you might have to fail 3 or 4 times. Who cares? Many people have failed 3 or 4 times and still been successful. You might be in the turmoil of your life. You want to know how to get out of it? 89-year-old man. I always dealt with financing with older people. And I said, he was dying, he had 6 months left. I said, teach me something that I'll never forget, that I can share with others. And here's what he taught me. Gerry, I don't care what your financial situation is. I don't care where you are in your relationship, in your marriage, and your business. I don't care. I don't care. As long as you have your health, you're fairly healthy, you'll look back in 5 years and 10 years and say, how the heck did I ever get through that crisis period? But you will get through. Everyone gets through. Unless you're serious illness, that is a health issue. So unless they have that, you're going to get, if you knew that was a fact, and it is, would you live your life differently? You should. You should pull the stops out every day. You should play life full out. You were born for greatness. You were. I believe everyone is. I want you to use the love, the caring, and the sharing that spreads the message. I want you to understand how special all of you are. We're a team. Together, everyone achieves more. Where you're weak, we'll build you up. But let's go and take this to the world. Let's make Zija a household name. And as you might not know, in financing, we have called something a black swan. That's a company that moves in position and steals market share while everyone's sleeping. The term comes from white swans. If you're at a pond where you see all white swans, you won't see the 1 or 2 black swans. They're the leaders, and they blend in with the ground. And they won't come out until the flock is mature. But when they do come out, you can't miss them. And that's what happened with Apple, who was a black swan. And I invested in Apple. They weren't public then, but the manufacturers of the part. I couldn't get my friends to do it. I got one friend to do it. They said, who's going to do this? The musicians are saying, I'm not going to sell my record for $1. You're going to be crazy. The media was on their side. The music industry was on their side. But I said, they're not studying what the demographic is saying. The demographic is saying, I'm in. And we have demographics saying that right now. So all the demographics are interested in our products. But the millennials born between 1980 and the year 2000, 50% of the workforce is now millennials. By the year 2029, 75% of the workforce will be millennials. You better know that, and you better know what they want. And you know what they want? They want the internet. That's why we're going to the internet. They also want health and wellness more than their parents. So you want to know that. That's a major trend that's trending big. The second trend that's trending big is something the explosive growth of the gig, G-I-G economy. What that means is that Uber is a perfect example of gig. The millennials are saying, I don't mind working. I'll work for a big company, but I want to call my own shots. I want to work the hours I want to work and get paid what I earn. And so this is called independent contractors, freelancers. All the companies are going that because they don't have to pay the benefits. And so that's what they're doing. So the evolution of the gig, the explosive growth of the gig, the explosive growth of millennials. And here's the third thing, the explosive growth of social media. There's never been a time where people are buying through the internet. Retail sales are dropping every day. Internet sales are going up. And we're going to play all 3 of those trends. With the 4th trend is the explosive growth of SOHO, small office, home office, SOHO, small office, home office market. 18 million people last year in North America went into it. They say within the next 3 to 5 years, 50 million people are going into their home business. They say, I don't have a lot of money to get these big franchises. I got to start my little home business, and I'm going to keep my job and do it. We're perfect for them. We're also perfect for the gig economy. That's what we do. We're independent contractors. So on behalf of all the leaders, and Fred, who I respect so much, and all of you that are listening, don't let this opportunity slip through your hands. We're in momentum. It's never going to happen again. I've been through this. I know the feeling. Pull the stops out. Turn your inner gyroscope all the way up and play this full out. And let's together not only achieve your dreams and goals, but my dream is that you give back to help others that are less fortunate. Thank you, Fred.
Gerry, I've got my notes. By the way, here's my notepad from that morning breakfast that we had. I'm going to have you sign this. Gerry, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you poured into my organization. And this is actually a broadcast that goes outside of my personal organization. You're preaching to Zija. You are somebody that I've always wanted to be associated with. And folks, now you understand why Gerry Campisi is the real deal. Gerry, thank you so much. Hey, blessings on your journey to Asia. We appreciate you representing Zija out there. Safe travels. I'll look forward to having you come back. Hopefully you can join us again on another Saturday morning new distributor training when you return from Asia.
I'd be glad to. Well, remember, like you said, Fred, we're one team. I don't care what organization you're in. We're spreading the same message. We're spreading the same love and caring. And that's what's really important to me, and I know to you, Fred, too.
Hey, Gerry, thanks so much, buddy. I appreciate you. God bless you. Safe travels.
Thank you. Good.
All right, folks. Wow. There was no way I could possibly promote Gerry more than what you just heard. This is golden stuff. And so this has been recorded. It'll be posted to the YouTube channel here a little bit later. We're going to do, let me just do real quick here. Gerry meant, you know, a month, a cycle. Don't get hung up on the details. It's the concepts that are the issue. Okay. And yes, 10 to 15 customers that we get paid by the, not cycle, period. Not cycle. 10 a period, 1,000 PV per period. Mary, that was actually a very good question, and I'm glad I saw it. Okay, here's what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to pause right now. We're going to come back here in less than 10 minutes. First Saturday of the period. I've got an incredible amount of information for the organization. I'm going to be joined by several of the top leaders that were, in the Orlando event for the Diamond Club. David Moses is going to be calling in from the road. So you can go ahead and just stay tuned in, or you can shut down and come back. This link is going to stay active. Give it about 7 or 8 minutes, and we will be back for the team meeting first Saturday of the period. Again, Gerry Campisi, you're the best, man. Appreciate you.